Yo, guys, what is up? It's your boy here. Um, I had to come on here tonight to talk about this. Absolutely had to. Couldn't wait till tomorrow or whatever. It's late. I'm getting home here kind of late. I caught the last hour of Raw. Thankfully, I have to say, thank God for DVR because Raw fucking dragged. Had I watched Raw live in its entirety leading up to the ending segment, boy, because I get why WWE did what they did, but man, Raw dragged tonight. It really dragged. Lashley comes out wanting his match. They pushed it to the second hour, which is 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock happens, and the Miz takes the belt and just runs away, and it's a count out. Shane McMahon then says, Miz, you will defend your title tonight. If not, you'll be stripped of it, and it'll be given to Lashley. What kind of match it'll be, I don't know. And I thought to myself, I'm like, what kind of match could they put on the fly in the last minute? It'll either be no DQ or lumberjack. It'd have to be one of the two. So, fast forward to the main event. Finally left the WWE just dicking around. We get to the main event. Before I get onto that, I have to say, and I have to admit, I like the fact that we saw Drew McIntyre tonight. McIntyre said, hey, he has beef with Sheamus. Once he gets done with Sheamus, then he's going to reshift his focus onto the world title and getting it back at WrestleMania. I did like the fact how Miz came out and Miz was trying to play up, trying to advert McIntyre's distraction off of Sheamus and put it on Bobby Lashley, and how McIntyre was like, nah, he was like, bro, he was like, you're trying to manipulate me into doing something with Lashley. He was like, nah, he was like, you're gonna have to fight Lashley fair and square. I'm not gonna have anything to do with that. I'm gonna take care of Sheamus, and then after I take care of Sheamus, whoever wins the title, that's who I'm gonna target next. So I like the fact that they addressed that at the beginning of the show, because we all thought McIntyre was going to interfere or something, because he would have, for all intents and purposes, legitimate beef against Lashley, since Lashley was the one who put McIntyre as a sacrificial lamb and kind of put him out there for the Miz to take advantage and cash in. So I like the fact that they did address that, and they're like, nah, that's not going to happen. And by the way, Sheamus and McIntyre, match of the night on Raw. Absolutely, they barn burner. Excellent match. So fast forward to the main event. Shane McMahon announces it's a lumberjack match. Miz tries to get out of it. Wrestlers are pulling him in. I'm still saying to myself, I'm like, bro, you got 5 minutes left. What's going on? Is something going to happen? A screwy finish? Something? Not at all. Not an interference. Not a screwy finish. Lashley was dominant the entire time. The match was maybe 5 minutes or maybe even less. I don't know. But Lashley puts him in the hurt lock, which I kind of want him to spear him. But put him in the hurt lock, and Miz, is he swinging him around? I'm like, Miz, come on, tap, tap, bro, tap. And as soon as he swings him around that fourth or fifth time, I see Miz tap his hand. I'm like, is he tapping? Is he legit tapping right now? Ref rings the bell, and I was like, yo, Bobby Lashley. I mean, the way it went about kind of felt a little underwhelming, I would say, but the end justifies the means. They pulled the trigger. I didn't think they were going to do it this week. I figured Lashley was going to get the title at some point leading up to WrestleMania, but I definitely did not think that, from the Chamber to last Monday leading into tonight, that they would pull the trigger. They pulled the fucking trigger, and I have to commend WWE for that, because, my God, it is about damn time. Lashley is a beast. Lashley is, he's 44, but physically he is in peak shape. As I said before, he's 44 years old, but he's in a more high. His physical condition is better than anybody that's 25 years old on the roster, hands down. He's a new face. He's a fresh face that's never been champion before. And when you surround him with the Hurt Business, it's just the overall package. which I kind of forgot at one point that the Hurt Business were tag team champions. When Shane McMahon had that thing with Braun teaming up with the Adam Pearce to face the tag team champions, I was like, who are the tag team champions? And the Hurt Business came out, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I don't even know how long they've had the tag team belts, but the fact that the Hurt Business has all the belts minus the United States title, that's fine. Let Riddle have his run with that. It's dope. And I have to say this, and I gotta be real. As an African American wrestling fan, this was dope to see tonight. And I know for a lot of people, say, well, look, we've had African American world champions before in times past. Yes, The Rock, Booker T, Mark Henry, and not too long ago, about like a year and a half ago, Kofi Kingston. I will say this. It's about damn time that, for WWE, I would say at least, we have a black faction, like the Hurt Business, that are serious and that are about their business, and they're not fucking around jokes. They're not taking out, tossing out pancakes and throwing out, Lucky Charm cereal boxes, and they're not the goofy entertainment, entertaining monkeys, or that's probably a bad example, but you get what I mean, because you know how Vince McMahon thinks. It all goes back to that promo that Triple H cut on Booker T back in 2003 or 4 it was, when Triple H tells Booker T, do what you do best and entertain. Go on, Book, break out and dance for me, because people like you are meant to be world champion. People like you are meant to, dance and entertain. You look at that promo that Triple H cut back in 2004. That has been the mindset of WWE for years. Yes, we've had Mark Henry, who has been a dominant world champion back in 2011. Yes, we had Kofi Kingston, who had a WrestleMania moment, and the story that they told with him and Daniel Bryan was excellent. Him winning the world title was excellent. Him having a 6-month run. The length that they gave him was great. But I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't the biggest fan of how they were booking Kingston as WWE champion. Yes, he had a WrestleMania moment. The story leading up to it and the payoff was great. I, as a wrestling fan, shed tears internally. His run as champion, in terms of length, was great. They gave him a chance. But one of the reasons that kind of turned me sour to the New Day or Kingston's reign as champion, they were jokes. Kofi Kingston was a joke. And I remember Jim Ross had even said, if you're going to be the world champion, the WWE champion on top of that, the holy grail of WWE, forget World Heavyweight title, forget Universal title, the WWE title is the main title in WWE, obviously, because it's their belt that they have conceptually made for decades. You kind of need to look the part, change the part. Nothing that Kofi had did as being a part of New Day changed when he became champion. He was still throwing out the pancakes. Kingston was a joke. The promo that Triple H had cut on Booker T back in 2004 befitted Kofi Kingston's reign as WWE champion. He was jucking and jiving, and I didn't like that personally. For me, I did not like that. So seeing Lashley tonight winning the title, I said it's about damn time we finally have a black world champion since Mark Henry that is dominant, that is believable, that is a beast. And you can say the exact same thing about the faction that surrounds him, that being the Hurt Business. For as shitty as Raw has been over the past year, and still continue to be, the bright spots of Raw, just Raw, have been Drew McIntyre and the Hurt Business. And the Hurt Business, to me, are best for business right now in WWE. They're a serious black faction that can be taken seriously. They dress the part with the suits. They look the part. There's no animosity between the guys yet. And Lashley has been booked really strong over the last 6 months. And I guess another kind of dead giveaway and hoping that I guess should have told me that they probably would have pulled the trigger tonight. Lashley did have an interview this morning with CBS News. They covered an article on Lashley, and Lashley talking about how he feels really confident, regardless of the shitty storylines, that he he admits that he was a part of and had been a part of since his return, he really doesn't care. He just does his job, does the best what the best he can do, and he feels like, you know, he gets it now. Things are starting to click for him, and he feels like now is his time, because he just has that confidence. And despite wrestling being predetermined and everything else, you can tell Lashley has that confidence. Tonight, Lashley had that confidence, even though he pretty much squashed Miz. He had that confidence. So I am hyped for, you know, the Beast, not Brock Lesnar, but the Beast, Bobby Lashley. And honestly, I think it's needed on Raw, because we don't know what condition Lesnar is in terms of if he's going to return. I really don't think Lesnar's going to be here for WrestleMania. He might show up post WrestleMania. But you really look at the roster, there really isn't that dominant, like, steamroll you through, kind of like Brock Lesnar or Goldberg, like monster that's consistently there on the roster. We don't really have that. Roman Reigns is a monster, but Roman Reigns is kind of like a little cocky, arrogant prick heel right now. McIntyre has been dominant as a champion. Braun Strowman, they don't know what they want to do with him. They still don't know what they want to do with him. But Lashley has been that consistent beast on the WWE roster. And to have him finally as champion, and for all of the reasons I just mentioned, you know, me being an African-American fan and him, it's about time we have a monster black champion, since Mark Henry, one that can be taken seriously. And again, he is the WWE champion, the title that matters. Been great if he was Universal Champion too, but the title that WWE are very selective and giving to, you know, whomever, it feels right. It feels right. Sean Sapp from Fightful.com even said on Twitter tonight, he was like, it feels like Bobby Lashley's night. Like, it feels like of all the alignment is there. The stars are aligned for Lashley to win tonight. And I was like, you know what? I kind of dig what he's saying. I kind of get that too. Like, it's his night. We all thought that it wasn't going to happen, but I got to commend WWE. I'm going to give them props. It happened. Bobby Lashley is champion. Will he drop it at WrestleMania? I think so. But, I mean, hey, 6 weeks of dominance, because we have 6 weeks until Mania, and him going into that pay-per-view as WWE champion, that's all I can ask for. Absolutely dominant. But, yeah, you guys let me know what you think in the box below. I want to hear your comments. This is great. Do yourself a favor, hit the like button, and subscribe. Let's talk about it. Peace out.